Welcome back to another video. We're making really good progress and I'll give you a quick tour of what you're going to see in this video. Main focus is going to be getting the radiator and the cooling system back on, and then we're going to rebuild the brake calipers and get them back on. As you can see, we've got the wheels back on the bike as well. So let's see how we did it. The first thing we're going to do is put the cooling system back together. So we're going to start by attaching the fan back to the back of the radiator, put the thermal protective cover on, and then we can mount that back onto the frame of the bike. Simply fitted by 2 bolts at the top and 1 at the bottom. We just need to make sure all the hoses are routed properly as per the manual. Once that's reattached, we can apply the coolant hoses back to the engine. The clips are done nice and tight so there's no air gaps. Then we can put the coolant reservoir back on. This hose is actually routed in correctly. I'll fix this later on, it should go around the front. Now I can re-add the coolant and let's hope it flows through. You want to pour it quite slowly to try and get rid of as many air bubbles as possible, give the bike a little wiggle. Just try and clear some of the air holes. It should take about 1.2 litres in total, including filling the reservoir up. Make sure we've got no leaks anywhere, looking good. That'll work its way through. So replacing the coolant is a 2-step process. The first thing we do is fill up the radiator, and then once that's filled to the brim, we fill the reservoir. So at this point I'm just going to run the bike up to temperature and just make sure there's no coolant leaks anywhere. Obviously, I don't have anywhere near enough subscribers to be sponsored on YouTube. Please subscribe and that will help me change that. However, what I do have is my own book. So just before Christmas, I put together the Motorcycle Rebuild Logbook. This is a really good guide. It's something I really wish I had when I started doing these bikes. So I thought I'd do it myself. It's basically a notebook that lets you track the whole build of your motorcycle. And it goes through different sections from finding your project, so the things that you need to look for when you go out and look at a bike that you want to buy, and then we can put some details on the bike that you actually found, and then we can go through assessment and planning. So it walks you through all the different steps of assessing the state of the bike and planning what you need to do to rebuild it, so you can keep a note of it. So it makes a nice little tracker of the bike as you go through. Preparing your shop, so how to make sure you've got all the tools and things that you need to get started, and then we can go through disassembly. Now it's not going to tell you how to do these things, it's just going to tell you what you should be doing. So it's applicable to all different motorbikes. You just need to make sure you've got the service manual to tell you how to do it. We can track where we're going to store all the parts, because I've ended up with screws and bolts and everything all over the place and it's easy to lose them. Engine work, so how to give a basic engine check over, stripping paint, how to go through the engine if it won't start, how to repair and check the frame and the body work. So literally all this useful information that you need to take you through finding your bike project all the way through, stripping it down, painting it, restoring it, fixing it, rebuilding it. We even have little bits on here for checking, so we can go through and see if it adheres to what would be the UK MOT test. Even if you're not in the UK, it's a really good standard for safety that you should adhere to, so it's worth going through. General things to test, so once you've finished, just walk through step by step, make sure you've tested everything off and make sure it's all ready to go. and then a cost tracker, and then obviously some line pages for your own notes afterwards. So really good thing. Next time I start a project, I'm going to be using it myself, so I'll keep showing you how I develop over time. But please go to Amazon, have a look at it. It's a really useful tool. It's what you can pass along with the bike as well, so the new owner can see the state of the bike and everything that's been done to it. So highly recommend it. Please do check it out on Amazon, and it really does help support me so I can do more projects like this. Excellent. Now we've got the cooling sorted out, we can turn our attention to the braking system. We're going to take this off and give it a respray. We take the brake handles off, take all the lines out, and we'll get all the calipers. We'll take these apart, give them a good clean up, make sure the pads are okay, and put them back together again. So that's the job for today. Let's crack on with it. First thing we need to do is to take the brake calipers apart. So we can see the bracket on the top is broken, so we'll see if we can get a new top part of the bracket, otherwise we might just need to replace the whole brake fluid reservoir. Now you don't want the brake fluid to drip onto any paint or anything because it is highly corrosive. Okay, now we've got the brake caliper off, we can start taking it apart and give it a really good clean. Give it a good spray with degreaser, good clean with a scouring pad, and we just work this over and over and over until we've got most of the grime off. Then we can move on to the back caliper. What we're going to do first is just soak everything in white vinegar. We'll leave this for about 24 hours just to clean a lot more of the grease and grime off. A good scrub in soapy water. Really get these cleaned up nice. Quite a long time to do this. We're going to strip the paint back, so we'll give this a respray to make it look nice and fresh. This is just the bracket that holds the caliper to the frame. Just want to make sure we tape off the inner sections because we don't want to spray and fill in any of the screw threads. Start off by applying a primer. We'll do about 3 layers of this, and then we can spray it with a matte black paint to match the frame. When painting, you want to make sure you do lots of thin coats and just do it very light, so about 3 or 4 coats is perfect. Now we're going to clean up the screws and just give them a bit of a protective layer. So again, these have been in vinegar for about 24 hours. Give them a nice clean to get all the grease off. And then we can use the drill and a bit of sandpaper. I think this is 200 grit. Just to clean it all off and make it nice and smooth. Do is heat all of the bolts up until they're cherry red, so they're red hot, and then we're going to dip it into some old engine oil. So this is black old engine oil, it's a good way to recycle it. This applies so hot, gives it a nice protective coating. This should stop the screws from rusting in the future. We'll just repeat this process for the rest of the screws to make sure they're all nice and clean and protected.
Making really good progress now, so we can actually put the wheels back on and just check the brakes are working fine. Let's do that now. Now I am going to refurbish these wheels, but I just want to put them on now just to make sure everything's working, and then I'll take them back off again and give them a good sand, strip the paint off and give them a respray. First thing we do, put the rear sprocket back on, put the spacer, put the chain tensioner back in. Spacer back in the other side.
Now getting the wheels on and off on your own can be a bit fiddly because all of the spacers keep dropping out, so it can be a bit annoying. I'm also not too bothered about making sure the wheel alignment is proper here, because the wheels are going to come off in the future to be refurbished. I just want to get on to make sure everything's working right. I'm also not too bothered about getting the torque settings right. I'm just going to get it on just for testing purposes.
Speed sensor between the forks and the wheel.
Okay, now that's all done. So we've got a working braking system, we've got a working cooling system, we've got the wheels back on. We should be ready to go and take the bike for its first test ride. This will be the first time I've actually ridden the bike in the 11 months that I've owned it. So quite a big milestone here. And it works, it rides. I can't believe it. I actually get to ride the bike for the first time and it feels awesome. But now all we need to do is work on some refinement, some tidying up, and just make it look mint. So thank you for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next video. But for now, peace out.